Breaking News Synthesis, June 30, 2026. I'm Venezuela. Venezuela's earthquake death toll has surpassed 1,700, with nearly 50,000 people still missing. Rescue operations have officially shifted from search and rescue to search and recovery. A quiet, devastating change made by officials, not by the families still waiting. U.S. sanctions on Venezuela are reportedly slowing the rescue response itself. Wildfires. 3 firefighters were killed battling a wildfire on the Colorado-Utah border this weekend. More than 3 dozen major wildfires are now burning across the U.S. A historic heat dome is forecast to scorch much of the country through the July 4th holiday, the same week as the planned 851,000 fireworks celebration. Heatwave. Forecasters are warning of a dangerous, potentially record-breaking heatwave across the central and eastern U.S. through Independence Day. Meanwhile, France's heat-related death toll has topped 1,000 as Europe bakes under an unprecedented heatwave of its own. 2 continents, same week, same warning, same response. A warning. Supreme Court. The Supreme Court issued a major immigration ruling this week, stripping protected status from hundreds of thousands of people from several countries, and separately allowed the administration to turn back asylum seekers at the border. Both rulings move fast. Neither one waited for anyone to check what happens to the people inside them. Cold open. Morning. The fresh whiteboard. The ceasefire whiteboard. Blank, since RoboCat erased it last episode. Has one new word written across the top in Johnny's handwriting. Recovery. Underneath, nothing yet. Johnny stands in front of it, cap still off the marker.
Walking in, seeing the word recovery, not ceasefire.
Not turning around. They changed the word in Venezuela. It's not search and rescue anymore. It's search and recovery.
Pause.
That's a different word for the same people still missing.
It's a different word for what they expect to find.
Joey sits down slowly on the arm of the couch. For once, he doesn't address the camera right away. Act 1. Search and Recovery Living Room. Morning. The TV shows footage from La Guaira, Venezuela. Rescue equipment being slowly replaced by recovery equipment. The Chiron reads death toll, 1,700 plus, nearly 50,000 missing. Joey and Johnny watch in silence for several seconds before either speaks.
Quietly. To camera. No jokes this time. The death toll in Venezuela has passed 1,700. Nearly 50,000 people are still listed as missing. That number, 50,000, is almost the population of an entire town, gone, or unaccounted for, in 1 week.
And U.S. sanctions on Venezuela are reportedly slowing down the recovery effort itself.
Turning to him, the same sanctions that exist regardless of who's buried in the rubble.
The sanctions don't know there's an earthquake. They're not built to know that.
Beat. Heavy.
That's the autopilot again. A policy that was switched on years ago, for a completely different reason, still running. Even now, even here, even though the reason it exists has nothing to do with what's happening on the ground this week.
Yet, nobody goes back and checks if the autopilot still makes sense.
Jimmy enters, sees the tone in the room, and for once doesn't mention the World Cup. He sits down quietly next to Johnny.
After a moment, gently, 50,000 people.
50,000.
Nobody says anything else for a moment. It's the longest silence the show has held all season. Act 2. 3 names we don't know. Kitchen, later. Chloe is at the kitchen table, reading something on her phone. She looks genuinely shaken. Mr. Whiskers enters with a new poster, but stops, seeing her expression, and doesn't put it up.
Quietly, 3 firefighters died this weekend on the Colorado-Utah border, fighting one of the wildfires.
Setting the poster down gently. I didn't know that.
There are more than 3 dozen major wildfires burning across the country right now, and there's a heat dome coming. Record-breaking, they're saying. right over the holiday.
From the doorway, having heard, the same holiday with the 851,000 fireworks.
The same holiday.
Joey steps fully into the kitchen, more subdued than his usual camera-ready posture.
To camera, 3 firefighters were killed this weekend fighting a wildfire on the Colorado-Utah border. More than 3 dozen major wildfires are burning across the United States right now, and forecasters are warning of a historic heat dome arriving this week, through Independence Day. In France, the heat-related death toll has passed 1,000 people. Europe is baking under its own unprecedented heat wave. To continents, to record-breaking heat events. In the same week.
From the living room, calling in. What's the response to a record-breaking heat wave?
A warning.
That's the whole response?
That's the whole response.
Mr. Whiskers quietly picks his unposted poster back up and leaves the kitchen without a word. The first time all season he hasn't pitched a seminar. Act 3. The rulings that moved fast. Living room, afternoon. The TV now shows news coverage of 2 Supreme Court rulings. Text graphics summarizing each. Johnny watches closely. Joey sits beside him.
The Supreme Court stripped protected status from hundreds of thousands of people this week, and separately ruled the administration can turn back asylum seekers at the border.
2 rulings, same week.
Both move immediately. Neither one waits to see what happens to the people inside them.
To camera, gathering himself, this week, the Supreme Court issued 2 major rulings, one stripping protected legal status from hundreds of thousands of people from several countries, and another allowing the administration to turn back asylum seekers at the border. Both rulings take effect, both move forward. Neither one pauses to check what happens next to the actual people affected. That's the thing about a ruling, it's not a plan, it's a switch. Someone flips it, and then the system runs, and running the system is treated as the same thing as solving the problem.
Quietly. Nobody checks if the switch was flipped correctly. They just check that it's on.
Beat. Joey nods slowly. Robocop Trasmeal, who has been silent in his corner all episode, suddenly speaks without being addressed, without anyone asking.
Calm, but slightly different. A fraction less certain. I do not have a recommendation for this one.
Long beat. Everyone turns to look at him.
Careful, you always have a recommendation.
Not for this one.
Quiet, watching him closely. Why not?
Robocat is silent for a long moment. His blue glow flickers again briefly. The first flicker the show has had all season.
Some things are not a decision. Some things are just a cost. I do not have a model for the difference.
Jamie comes downstairs, drawn by the unusual quiet in the room. She sees Robocat's flicker. She doesn't write anything in her notebook this time. She just watches him for a long moment.
Very quietly, almost to herself good. She goes back upstairs. Nobody asks her what she meant.
All true. Living room. Evening. The whiteboard still reads only recovery. Nothing else written under it. Joey stands in front of it one more time.
To camera, tired, honest, no jokes left. Nearly 1,700 people are dead in Venezuela and 50,000 more are missing. And this week the word changed from rescue to recovery. 3 firefighters didn't come home from a wildfire that's one of 3 dozen burning right now. A heat dome is coming for half the country at the same time France is burying more than 1,000 people from its own heat wave. And 2 Supreme Court rulings moved forward this week without waiting to see who they'd land on. Even Robocat didn't have an answer today. That's new. That might be the only honest thing that happened all week. Back to camera, gently. This is the Mamones. We'll write something on the board tomorrow. We don't know what yet. Subscribe. And check on the people around you. The autopilot won't.